ChatGPT Plus is free for college students through May. Here's the thing. You've got a lot to do between now and then. Studying for finals, writing papers, trying to keep your life on track. And ChatGPT can help with all of it. It can quiz you for your econ exam, make a study guide from your French notes, plan out your meals and study breaks. It can get really specific on how you like to learn. It can even help you come up with ways to stop procrastinating. So from now until summer break, take advantage of all the ways ChatGPT can make your life easier. Restrictions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. 3 couples, 4 vacations, a lot to unpack. Watch The 4 Seasons, a new series starring comedy favorites Tina Fey, Steve Carell, Will Forte, Coleman Domingo, and more in a hilarious and heartfelt love letter to long-term relationships. Based on the original Alan Alda film. Watch The 4 Seasons, May 1st, only on Netflix.
Parents of tweens, if you're familiar with far-off drop-offs...
Dad, stop, right here.
Or get DMs about what's for dinner, you may be experiencing tween milestones. For your son or daughter, these can start at age 9. HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next.
Ask their doctor today about HPV vaccination. Brought to you by Merck.
Welcome to Brand New Spanking episode. It was supposed to be spanking was the word. I don't think I said the end. There you go. In true California fashion, I just cut out a letter. Do you do that now? Do you cut out all the T's?
No, I'm very big on enunciating everything that I say, Meghan. No.
Ooh, that H really hit. I felt that. My ancestors felt that too. The Irish one. Thank you for the clock of that one. Welcome. This is a podcast where we two people who are not whatsoever wrong tell you when you are wrong, tell other people when they are wrong, talk about famous people, celebrities, pop culture, current events, things in the zeitgeist. Who is wrong? Think of it like ethical gossip, ethical shit talking. And like we're doing it for the greater good. We bitch to each other. You bitch to us. Bitches run the world.
Who run the world?
Bitches. I love a bitch. Love a bitch.
I love a bitch too. This bitch.
Oh yeah, you can see we are rocking as you know you would in high school. After you go to a concert the next day, you show up to school wearing the merch. Except I was never one of those kids because merch was expensive. This merch is worth every penny.
Yeah,
I still might
thick.
Make Mott's go get the jersey tomorrow. Am I that crazy? Maybe. But we're wearing our Cowboy Carter merch. If you missed
Where would
it.
you park? Like in the lot and pay $100 for that?
No, so there's some aspect of it that there's a reason why they're opening it at 2 for merch.
Oh,
so you don't
2.
have to
I
go.
thought you meant like when the actual concert
no.
was.
No. So like I don't know what I'd have to look it up, but there's
that
like a thing.
Yes, you can just park there. Yes.
Yeah. So I think I might have him do. He did offer, and yesterday he was like, "I'm sorry, I forgot," because I didn't text him. And he was like, "Oh, I should have done that." He goes, "I gotta go tomorrow. Do you want me to?" And I was like,
"Well, if he's offering,
maybe.
then go."
That's true.
Do it.
I will.
But we are so excited that you're here joining us. Oh, look at you. It's pretty good.
It's actually not because I don't stretch. So like I probably shouldn't be able to do that.
No, I mean as a non-stretch, it was pretty good.
Okay. I just think that like sometimes I'm like I should be tighter than this. Like my body's a little too loose.
No, but you have EDS, don't you?
I don't know. So I think that might be.
I mean,
yeah,
you do.
You and your weird skin. Melissa was the first one when she goes, "You should listen to those people who are saying that stuff because I love you, but I've known your skin was weird for a while. I can't believe you're just realizing." I was like, "You're like, yeah, it's stretchy." I didn't even know that until you told me. Right?
And I'm pretty sure Melanie has it too.
Yeah.
Also, she has weird knees.
Don't talk about my Disney knees right here.
Hers are almost like a baby's knees.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Lacking in the cartilage.
Yeah.
Very soft knee.
And her knee's been back like this.
Oh, yeah, that's very. Yeah, that's very.
And I told her, maybe let's look into this.
Yeah. Hey, been there. So, anyways, We also do video versions of this podcast. You can watch along, see us, see our adorable merch we got from Cowboy Carter. And you can also support the show that way. We do live streams twice a month over on Patreon. Check it out. But yeah, there are 3 different segments on this show. We will explain each one before we get into it. But what you need to know is we want you to participate, whether that is submitting in topics for us to discuss in those aforementioned segments, or actually, we really want you to vote on who you think was wrong in each part of this episode. And we put stories over on our Instagram and we add them to a highlight, and they're polls. So you vote who you think was wrong, respond with why you voted the way you did, any of your thoughts and feelings.
Please, please, please share your thoughts.
Yes, share your thoughts, because we read them out loud and we want to read them out loud. And I promise we are not scary. Like, you are allowed to have differing views than us and different feelings than us. We also keep it anonymous unless you don't want to be kept anonymous. Like,
the only person that has told us
Gail.
Don't do it is Gail.
Yeah,
so.
Shout out to Gail. But we're not ever going to get on here and be like, oh, this person with the Instagram handle this said this. Never. Not ever. Even, and here's the thing, even if you say something wild, we're just gonna block you.
Mm-hmm.
We're not gonna say your name on
You'll
here.
know.
Yeah.
No one else will know.
No one else will need to know. Don't worry about it. So please write in there. We love to hear from you. And even if you miss the actual ability to vote on the poll who was wrong, because it's only 24 hours, that's why we put them in a highlight too. So if you see it the day after and we, you then respond so you can read them too.
Yeah. Also, if you use our form, please make sure that you're using the form for the right show. The one for Don't Blame Me says Don't Blame Me. The one for But Am I Wrong says But Am I Wrong. Also, once you get into the form, if it's saying Am I Wrong, update, or advice, update, and don't blame them. It's very obvious for what
context clues.
What everything is. And if you mess up, then please still submit it for the right show, because you will get an email after saying what you submitted for.
Yeah. So just submit another one right after immediately, because that sometimes things slip through the cracks when they're in the wrong ones and we try and switch them over. And sometimes you have timely advice that you need, and we want to give you that timely advice for Don't Blame Me. And other times, we want to be able to format the shows in a really good, cohesive way that hits all the points.
Yeah.
So, shall we start with our first segment?
Yes, we shall start with But Am I Wrong?
This is where we pitch a hot take, a rant, something that we're going through, something that's happened that we want to know if we are in the wrong about. Okay. My hot take spurs from a TV show I have never watched about 2 people I know next to nothing about. And of course, I saw a clip on TikTok, and now I have incredibly strong feelings about.
What show?
I actually don't know.
Okay.
Stassi Schroeder is on it.
Oh, so it's one of the new
I
Vanderpump
don't know.
shows.
Maybe.
There's a new one that's far away.
Okay. Exactly.
From wherever her family is from, I think.
Okay.
I think Lisa Vanderpump was doing it, and then she was
a hotel or something?
Yeah, or restaurant.
Okay.
And then
I know nothing.
Stassi was like, hey, my family's from here. Can I be on the show?
Ancestors?
Yeah. I think I might be making that up.
You know what? No hard feelings here, because guess what? I have strong feelings on something
know.
I know nothing about.
Okay.
I did not do nearly as much research as I did for the Scandival thing, which Mott's literally brought up the other day. He goes, isn't it crazy how we watched the reunion episode of Vanderpump's Rules, and we've literally never seen that because you cared so much? And I was like, that makes perfect sense to me. Of course. And my hot take is, it is weird to get a sibling tattoo with your sister who you met later in life, who you were not raised with, while also saying you would never get a tattoo to honor your wife.
What?
So Stassi?
Mm-hmm.
Stassi?
Yeah. She's sat on my couch before.
Which show?
Don't blame me.
No, that's our show.
Sorry.
Grace.
Not too deep.
Grace. That's fair. That's a fine mix-up. I understand. Blonde, white women, same words.
I just said it with such confidence.
We do that all the time, where we will say one of our you'll be like, welcome back to this, and one of us goes, no, that is not what we're doing.
Yeah.
So is it Stassi or Stassi?
Stassi.
Mm-hmm. Like Anastasia or something?
Sure, but her name's Stassi.
Okay. So Stassi's husband, his name is Beau. I learned that.
Okay.
They are on whatever this fucking show is, like a little cameo, something about it or whatever. And it's the clip of her talking with her friends, and he's also there. There's like they're at a party or whatever. And he's also there, and he's talking to his sister, and they're talking about like, I think like, you know, this is like really weird. Like he got a tattoo to like honor his sister who he met later in life. Like they were not raised together, anything like that. And then all the while being like, I would never like, you know, I wouldn't get a tattoo for my wife. I wouldn't get a tattoo for Stassi or whatever. And she like went up to him and was like pissed about it. And I guess he referenced, people are going to kill me. Like something dark, I don't know. But she has like this, how Beyonce has Sasha Fierce, Stassi has like her evil, like villain side of her or whatever. Like the dark passenger.
Well, her middle name is Bianca. So if you started to say Bianca.
Did I?
Yeah.
I was going to say that she...
I'm on her... So her name is Nastasia.
Okay, so she's Russian? No, I'm thinking of Nastya Lukin. Sorry. But she like, so I get, he like starts basically using this against her of being like her like crazy side of her, like the toxic reality TV version of herself is like, oh my God, you're breeding into this too much. And like, no, I think it is factually, I think it's fucking weird to be precious about like the real estate of your body in terms of like tattooing and then being like, I'm only going to get it for something that's a really important relationship and like picking your sibling who you did not grow up with and were not raised with and like you did find later in life. I don't know how late in life. I actually don't think that really matters at all. But she was at their wedding, and you wouldn't get it for your wife. You have kids. That's really fucking weird. That's really, 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 really fucking weird.
Well,
if you're precious with the real estate, be precious with the real estate. And by the way, your wife and your child should rank over your sibling. And like, you know me, the second someone says there's something fishy about that boy-girl sibling, I go, say less, my guy. Say less. And I trust a group of girls sitting there saying, this is weird. They are a little too close.
Okay.
And that is my hot take. I don't even know what the fucking tattoo is. If it's her name, it's crazy.
This is what I know about Stassi.
Oh, that she's racist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's
like an active racist.
And then hired a diversity coach to help her in life.
Like just in her daily life?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. He tattooed his sister's name.
Okay. So full name.
Full name.
Yeah, that's weird.
That is weird. The name is weird because in general...
Having a sibling, I wouldn't put... Well, I don't like tattoos, but I wouldn't put any of my siblings' names on me unless they...
Well, I was going to... So unfortunately, like that is kind of the connotation is like most of the time when siblings have names, not like a sibling tattoo where you have a matching tattoo, usually it's because that sibling has passed on.
Yes.
And you usually would get that far before, like it's because you've known them for all of that kind of stuff. Like it's not like a later in life thing. Usually getting a name tattooed is also like kind of a curse, which I understand why he doesn't want to get his wife's name tattooed on him. I understand when people think that is a curse. So then don't get someone else's name tattooed on you.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I do think it is crazy, though, that people are forgetting that she quite literally called a police tip hotline to report her coworker because she heard somehow, which, by the way that you have to seek out, hey, there is like someone committed a crime. We're looking for this person. That's not just like common knowledge. And like shit happens all the time. And like you don't know that. It's not like unless it's a fucking Amber Alert, you're not getting a notification.
Yeah, I mean, she was fired from Vanderpump Rules because of that, but now she's back on Vanderpump.
And people who are like, oh my God, I'm so glad she's finally back on TV. When I say she's an active racist, I mean like she's like
she has a racist coach.
I was about to say like she's like a practicing racist. Like this is not a passive part of her life. Like she tried to report a Black woman who has nothing in common with this person who committed a crime. A Black woman she knows to the police, like on her, she said, let me dial that number. Have you ever thought of entering a radio contest? There are so many other things you could fucking do with your time. Like that to me, I'm like, is like so, and like her being like, it was a mistake. And like, then I got canceled. And I'm just like, you tried to have someone, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's objectively like, just they're like that is like fucking insane. Like you are a practicing active every day with a coach The coach isn't coaching her to be fair. Do we include like, you said an anti-racist coach. Okay, I thought you said a racist coach at first.
I mean,
was like,
that's what I said, but
I just wanted to make sure that they're like, she hired a coach to make her more racist?
the first time I said it correctly,
Okay. I
but
didn't know
the
if
second
we
time
said
I was
that.
being funny.
And you were funny. I just don't want this person to catch flack. I want Stassi to. I don't want the coach to. Okay. That's it.
All right, we're going to take a break and then we'll get into mine.
Thank you to today's sponsor, HelloFresh. Fresh air, sunshine, and good food. That is what spring is all about.
That's my favorite thing about spring. All three of those.
HelloFresh makes it easier to fit quick, home-cooked meals into your schedule every week by curating delicious recipes like pasta primavera, chicken Dijon, and pecan-crusted trout, as well as over 100 seasonal snacks, sides, and treats.
Every HelloFresh meal uses high-quality ingredients, including seasonal, fresh produce, and proteins that travel from the farm to your doorstep. Flexible deliveries that you can pause or skip when you need.
I have to be honest with you. We've worked with HelloFresh before. I have gotten many
years.
No, truly, and I've gotten countless HelloFresh boxes. This might be the menu that I have been like the most excited for. Like, I cannot wait. I am getting the Mushu pork lettuce wraps. Oh, hello, yes. And then I guess I'm in a porky mood. Pork chops with a zesty green onion salsa. Never had, like, love that. These are things that like I would never think to cook myself, and also like, I don't know, pre-portioned, so easy and so delicious. I cannot wait to try everything.
Yeah, I'm getting the cheesy smothered mushroom chicken, which mushrooms and chicken are two of my favorite things.
And I love them together.
I do too. I've been actually using a HelloFresh recipe in my rotation for years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also getting the balsamic glazed steak, which I can't wait.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love steak, and I feel like steak is like one of the pillars of warmer weather.
It is. It's very springy.
It is. It is. Feel great with meals that fit your spring schedule and make the season even more delicious. Go to HelloFresh.com/BlameMe10FM now to get 10 free meals with a free item for life.
1 per box with active subscription. Free meals applied at discount on first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
You chose to hit play on this podcast today. Smart choice. Progressive loves to help people make smart choices. That's why they offer a tool called Auto Quote Explorer that allows you to compare your Progressive car insurance quote with rates from other companies. So you save time on the research and can enjoy savings when you choose the best rate for you. Give it a try after this episode at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy. If you've ever shopped online, and let's face it, who hasn't? Chances are you've bought something from a business powered by Shopify. You know that purple Shop Pay button you see at checkout? The one that makes buying so incredibly easy? That's Shopify. And there's a reason so many businesses sell with it, because Shopify makes things easier, and not just for shoppers. They make it easy to start and run your business. Shopify is the commerce platform behind 10% of all e-commerce in the US, from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. It gives you a leg up from day dot with hundreds of beautiful ready-to-go templates to express your brand style so you can get up and running fast. You can tackle your important tasks, from inventory to payments to analytics and more, all in one place. You can also spread your brand's word with built-in marketing and email tools built for you to find and keep new customers. And remember that iconic purple Shop Pay button that's used by millions of businesses around the world? It's why Shopify has the best converting checkout on the planet. Your customers already know and love it. If you want to see less carts being abandoned, it's time for you to head over to Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/realm. Go to shopify.com/realm. Shopify.com/realm.
All right, we're back. So mine was first inspired by, there's this man on TikTok who posted a video of him in a job interview, a virtual job interview. And in the video at first, well, there's a AI picture up. He's in a Zoom meeting and there's an AI picture up. And at first it sounds like the person is speaking German and then it glitches real hard because he's getting interviewed by AI.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second video pops up, and in the second video, he's getting reprimanded by allegedly somebody that works at the company, but it sounds like this person is actively dying.
Sorry. They sound like they're in crisis.
They're like talking like this and then like hacking up a lung.
He works for Mitch McConnell.
And it felt a little, not quite Mitch McConnell, a little more RFK.
A little more imminent.
Yeah. Then I was like, and the things that we're saying made sense, but I was like, there's no way that they got on was like, hey, we saw your video and you need to take this down and you won't continue with the hiring practices and whatever in the voice that they were using.
No, I was about to say, the man of that, by the way, that man's never been online. That man is...
It was a woman, I believe.
Oh,
but yeah.
so sorry.
I
just pictured RFK immediately.
Yeah. Mixed with like Monsters, Inc. Do you remember?
Oh my God. Wazowski!
Yes.
Amelia de Moldenberg, Chicken Shop Day Girl, she was her for Halloween last year, I think. It was a good costume.
So then I looked in their profile. Well, first a thought came to me. It was like, we got to stop AI, of course.
Hey, and that's always a correct thought.
Yes, it's always a correct thought. And then I looked in his profile and it says satire, but I don't think most people are looking at his profile because all the comments are very genuine about like stopping AI. And that inspired my take for today is that stop letting AI ruin your business, because what he did, while it was satire, and that's the best type of satire,
is actually satire.
Satire is grounded in reality.
Yes.
And so I've talked about how we receive marketing emails that make zero sense, but they've gotten increasingly worse since people have started using AI. It's very evident that they have never listened to our podcast, but like we've gotten ones that were like talking about WNBA players that we had on as guests. And I was like, we've never had I was trying to find the exact screenshot, but I couldn't find it. But I was like, y'all aren't even trying anymore. Nope. Or it'll be like hey, Meghan and Melisa, the candid conversation on navigating complex social situations provided relatable insights into personal boundaries and communication. The discussion on friendship dynamics and honesty was especially engaging. After listening to this episode, I thought your audience would love Benjamin somebody.
We don't love anyone named Benjamin. I like the Benjamins.
Yeah.
I don't want a singular Benjamin.
The UK's most hated sales trainer. What the hell does that have to do with our podcast?
Hated sales trainer?
I don't know.
Unfamiliar with that work. I can't wait to see what they do. We loved your episodes about cousins fucking. We think you would enjoy this fundamentalist who definitely isn't running a cult, but
someone else said, I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to reach out because I'm an avid fan of your show and love the way you dive into deep topics such as empowering women, inspiring relationships, and fostering business growth. When have we talked about fostering business growth?
No, if you are an avid fan, tell me about, hey, I pissed my pants at that episode talking about the cousins fucking. Like, I would rather you incorporate something that is like not business professional that we have talked about on our podcast than like make something up to going, these two boss ladies are definitely grabbing the world by storm with their synergy and their circling back.
And then for another show, we were trying to book somebody and the person quote unquote that responded, we got 3 messages within minutes of each other. And the first one was like, I don't understand what a time zone is. You don't understand what a time zone is?
Oh my God. Stop. The AI, instead of having a conversation with the person who's using the AI, they said, I'm just going straight to the source.
Right. And then the second email, again, this was a couple minutes later, was like, what do you use to schedule candidly? And then listed some other services that use booking, but like we are actively booking in this email. So why would we be doing that? And then another one 2 minutes later was like, he's not available for this time, but can do 11:30 p.m. This person was, I just told Meghan who it was, we'll cut it out, but this person is somebody that works at a top university.
Yeah, claimed in their field.
And it makes them look so stupid. And then like using this for anybody that is a client makes it, like you said, lose their credibility. Like, you know nothing about my show. You're pitching somebody that does not belong on my show. So you're wasting time and energy.
Well, and like, hey, if you actually were a real person who reached out and you had like a real conversation, we might want to work with this person who like, it doesn't seem crystal clear, but like you're a real person who can explain, hey, I've actually done the legwork. I've listened to your show. This is why. I know it sounds unconventional, but this is why I think this would work.
Yes.
But like, now it's like, even if I'm assuming you're not even a real person, so I'm not even going to respond.
Yes.
So like, you've lost this now.
And then a trick that they try to do now, which I've seen across several different shows, is they'll send an email and then once you don't respond, they'll be like, Meghan and Melisa, I've been listening to your show on Apple Podcasts. Is that the best place to leave you a review or do you prefer Spotify? So they'll say that in a way that so then you'll respond to that and then they think they're hooking you. But again, I've seen this in several different emails across different shows. It's just something that they use as a way to hook you. And also, P.S. sent you an email yesterday. Not sure if you got it. Gmail can be wacky sometimes and then have like a weird emoji in it.
No, that actually that scares me.
Yes.
I don't like their use of the word wacky. I don't like them using emojis. I don't like, no.
Yeah.
Bumblebee would never do this.
So along those lines, Duolingo, the little chirpy owl that has taken TikTok by storm. I mean, it recently died by getting hit by a Tesla and then had a funeral and then came back to life. So, you know, now we've got this frustration that they've unleashed because AI has become an obsession that is threatening to strangle the very life out of a good business. So Duolingo, that little chirpy owl, who is supposed to help connect with human languages, is going AI first with what did the silicone-soaked algorithm world does that even mean? It means they're ditching the very people who made their content engaging, who brought the nuances and cultural differences and understandings to language learning for some cold, calculated pieces of code.
It's just such a crazy thing to be like, hey, making an announcement. It's really exciting, everybody. We're actually firing at everyone and relying entirely on computers, which, like you said, their prior big thing that they got in the press about was about
their people forward and
like,
culturally sensitive and
topical and like knowing their audience, which is like mostly millennial Gen Z, and like having Duo get hit by a Tesla felt like a statement.
Yes.
And now it's like, oh no, JK, we love technology.
Right. And so some corporate buzzwords that they've been using are removing bottlenecks and letting employees focus on creative work. Creative work? What's creative about managing the output of a digital parent?
No, that's fucking insane.
What's creative about cleaning up the inevitable messes that a program designed to mimic human interaction will undoubtedly create? And the gall of it, comparing it going mobile first in 2012, that was about access to executives. And this isn't about reaching more people. It's about replacing them. It's about squeezing every last drop of profit by sacrificing quality, by sacrificing the human touch that is essential to something like language learning. And the thing is like they made it sound like this big innovation, but the users are like, we're not stupid. A lot of people are canceling their subscriptions, deleting their accounts. And they're saying that understanding language isn't just about vocabulary words and grammar. It's about connection, about culture, about shared human experience. And you want to replace this with an algorithm. You want to learn the subtle art of conversation from a glorified chatbot, which it is.
That's a great point.
And good luck with that. And it's not just Duolingo. There's been attempts across different genres, like I said, with podcasting, We're getting all these soulless pitches that clearly haven't ever listened to the show. And then businesses, are you listening? This isn't innovation. It's a race to the bottom. You think you're saving money by replacing human beings with the lines of code, but you're sacrificing the very soul of the business because there is no soul. You're alienating your customers, demoralizing your remaining employees, and contributing to a world where genuine human interaction is becoming a luxury. And like I said, they're devaluing human contribution. There's also concerns for quality, impact on contractors, because they did hire contractors from around the world to make sure that everything was correct and also relevant and current. Like when you're in school, you're learning from textbooks, not in a way that's conversational. And that is something that Duolingo pride itself on, is actually being, this is the way that people talk. And now they're taking that away.
Yeah, like that specific character in Duolingo who's like supposed to be a teenager. Like the conversations you have with her are much more like teen, like how you talk about it. It's not that, everything's not nearly as formal.
Right. And on top of that, they've increased the price.
Oh my God. Hey, we have to pay the little robot who lives inside the phone.
So it's going from $65 to $70. And then they're also looking at bundling the price from $100 when you get like the bundle of different things from $110 to $118. There's also a lot of in-app purchases to gamify it. And what they're doing is that the user backlash against Duolingo's AI first pivot is significantly amplified by the concurrent trend of rising prices. Many users feel that they are being asked to pay more for a service that is potentially diminishing in quality and losing human touch that made it appealing in the first place. And the combination poses a serious risk to Duolingo's reputation and long-term user retention. And you're not getting those people off TikTok anymore.
No, you're not getting any of them. And hey, I fell off the Duolingo train on what day? Let's see. It's been 205 days. So, hey, it's like I saw into the future and predicted this. And that's actually why.
That's why.
That's why I stopped.
That's the reason you stopped.
That's the reason why I stopped. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like, and it is just like the idea that like, you're going to increase the cost for something that, like, by the way, once you remove humans from it, all of this, like, AI, algorithm, all of those things, come at me if you have any, like, differing opinions of this. But, like, as someone who, like, coded her own MySpace, when you take the humans away from it and you make it computer generated, pretty much anyone can do that job. Anyone can do that. So they don't need to spend money on your product when you are not even producing your product. You are outsourcing your product this way. They can outsource for the same goddamn fucking thing. It's like the same thing right now with all of this people sewing and label, like white labeling things, drop shipping and all of that stuff, and people being like, I'll find the same thing on Alibaba. Like I can do that. If you are not putting any like creative person forward effort into it, you are outsourcing. That outsourcing contract will never, and especially in terms of technology, ever be fucking exclusive.
Yep.
Ever.
Nope.
Ever. You can seek that out. Someone else doing that. You can seek that out. Anyone can do that. You've no longer made a product worthwhile. It's, yeah. And I just encourage everybody, even if you view as like, you know, it's crazy to me that people don't Google anymore. And like Mats was talking about like how he had like a conversation with like a younger person about this, where they're like, oh, I'll just like chat GPT it. And he was like, you mean Google? Google it. And they were like, oh. And he was like, just Google it. Like, don't read the AI thing.
Way less energy.
And it's doing accurate. The same thing.
It's a lot of things with ChatGPT is just pulling a conglomerate of different information and not actually fact checking.
Well, it's pulling from the same access of Google searches that you have, but it is placing a different value on importance and fact and what they view as valid than you would. So, like, if you're pulling your sources that you're grabbing this from as being like truthful sources, and you pull from Fox, The Onion, and a WordPress account, when I'm going to go to Reuters, Merriam-Webster, and like Yale journalism like study piece of work. Those three things on the same topic are all available for you to access via Google. AI has no additional access to information that you do not have.
Yep.
It is going from the same pool of things that you can search from, but it is placing value on different things. And like, that's how things get fucked up. And like, you should never listen to the AI aspect. Also because like, it tells you what you also want to hear, which like is not the best way to do it. It's just like, it makes me like so annoyed as someone who like, Googling is a skill. Like that is a skill. You can't do your own quote unquote research.
I literally, when I was in college, there's a lot of pointless classes. And in my business, I was doing a business minor. And I did have a class on Googling, and everybody was like, I'm sure it's defunct now. But everyone was like, why are we learning how to do this? But it made sense for older people who didn't know.
Yep.
But like, we grew up doing this.
Well, I've even had to like check people who I know who like they Google and then the first thing that they click is a sponsored link. And I go, no.
Go down.
Yeah. Even if you like want to, even if it's like the brand that you're trying, like whatever that is, like don't do that part. Like just click, don't go into the business side of it. Just find that way. Even restaurant reviews.
Even when I'm researching things for like something that I found for whatever my wrong of the week is, I'll Google, but then I'll go to specific like 3 or 4 different reputable sources, but they all have different information. So I put it all together. Like you have to have that skill to be able to have a full rounded thought.
And guess what? That will also teach you how to cook and bake.
Yeah.
Because that's what you have to do. Like you have to get things from multiple sources, pick and choose what is like, this makes sense. This is not backed up by anything. I'm reading reviews on whatever this is. Like you have to be able to have that discernment yourself. Otherwise, like you are going to start falling for shit online. You're going to start do X, Y, and Z, all of this kind of stuff. Like it is a skill. And as much as like people are shocked by like, oh my God, Meghan, you can find anybody online. Like, yeah, I have an amazing skill that like, that is a level that like, I don't expect every other person.
I think everyone should have it.
I think everyone should have it. And if you don't have it, your best friend needs to have it. You need to have someone in your circle who has that, or someone you can reach out to. Again, we are available if you need something like that. But the idea that like a chat GP, like that is better, is not increasing any of your skill level. Even the same thing of like, help me practice interviewing. That won't help you.
No.
That won't help you. There are certain even ones of, there's AI ones to help you like practice reading your lines. It does not help in the same way that it does with you have a face-to-face person who's doing that. Even when I record the other lines on my phone and I like practice with myself back and forth, it's just not the same. So it's getting like, I'm getting like increasingly annoyed when people are like, oh, let me ask. I even saw someone on a podcast, like, let me ask ChatGPT like what the last project this actor was in.
Go to IMDb.
And they did. Yeah. So they asked that. You have to fucking wait for the whole response. They get the response and they say that and everyone's like, no. And then they check IMDb, cross-reference, and it's like, oh, they missed a TV. Oh, I should have specified movie. I said project. I'm like, this is just like, there's no point to it. It's just, and it is fucking killing the environment. There's literally no need to do that. And I just think about the sense of like, if you wouldn't feel comfortable with your doctor, your lawyer, or your brain surgeon, or the person who's building your house, if you
they are using it in doctor's office. But
that's what I'm saying. But if you would not be like stoked, that makes me feel a lot better and more comfortable and safe. And like that this makes me feel more assured this is going to go flawlessly. If those people relying on those things rather than the research, the history, their past, all of those things, then you should not be using it in your career either, or even your daily life.
All right, we're going to take another break, and when we get back, we'll get into But Are You Wrong?
I love a multi-use beauty product, like an eye/cheek/lipstick. It makes a full face so much easier, plus you only need to bring one product along for touch-ups. And whether you're all about simple mascara and gloss, or you love to play with bold shapes and colors, you gotta have that trusty favorite you turn to for every look. Thrive Cosmetics makes certified 100% vegan and cruelty-free products you can depend on for everything from simple daily wear to show-stopping self-expression. And it's all made with clean, skin-loving ingredients, high-performance and trademarked formulas, and uncompromising standards. And Thrive Cosmetics is beauty that gives back. For every product purchased, they make a donation towards 8 major causes, including social justice organizations and those impacted by cancer and homelessness. It feels good knowing that when I purchase a product, I'm also able to give back to causes that matter to me. And one product I love from Thrive Causemetics is the Brilliant Eye Brightener. Like I said, I love a product that can have multiple uses, and the Brilliant Eye Brightener is just that. It's an eyeshadow and highlighter stick that's super blendable, and I'm slowly but surely stocking up on the 31 shades that it comes in. Try your new trusty favorites with an exclusive set for our listeners. New customers can get the Liquid Lash Extensions Mascara and a mini-sized Brilliant Eye Brightener at a special set price with free shipping available at thrivecosmetics.com/thrive. Or save more with 20% off your first order at thrivecosmetics.com/thrive. That's Thrive Cosmetics, CAUSEMETICS.com/thrive for 20% off your first order.
Halliday presents, in the red corner, the undisputed, undefeated Weed Whacker Guy. Champion of hurling grass and pollen everywhere. And in the blue corner, the challenger, extra strength, Halliday. Eye drops that work all day to prevent the release of histamines that cause itchy allergy eyes. And the winner, by knockout, is Halliday. Halliday, bring it on.
In golf, precision is everything, on and off the course. PGA of America chose advanced 5G solutions from T-Mobile for Business for smooth operations and seamless transactions. Together, we enhance ticketing and concessions for better fan experiences from gate to green. This is pro-level efficiency. This is PGA of America with T-Mobile for Business. Take your business further at T-Mobile.com/now.
We are back, and it is time for But Are You Wrong?
But Are You Wrong is when you guys write into butamiwrongpod@gmail.com or use our form or send us a DM with issues in your life that you may be wrong about, or you just want to rant about something.
And I think we have our first rant.
We do.
So happy to hear it. This is from someone 31, he, him. Hi, Meghan and Melissa. Today I'm ranting about Big Egg. Ready for it. I've noticed an increase in videos about egg flights or eggs 6 ways on TikTok lately, and I want to know if this is Big Egg coming back and trying to get people to buy eggs again. Did we not forget about the bird flu, the rising grocery prices, or the fact that most people shouldn't be eating upwards of 6 eggs at a time? These people are putting I'm gonna gag. These people are putting peanut butter and jelly on an egg and genuinely thinking it tastes good? I'm all for getting creative with food within reason, trying something new or getting on a trend, but do we think Big Egg has something to do with dropping a little video or incentivizing/convincing people to start the egg flights again? We know about Big Kale and how it may have been a social experiment that
it was.
Factually. that was once a decorative plant into our homes and kitchens. But do you have any thoughts on Big Egg? And if I'm wrong for thinking there's a conspiracy theory to recoup the lost sales and rebrand eggs as cool again, would either of you try the PB&J egg? By the way, you both looked amazing for Cowboy Carter, and I cannot wait to see it for my birthday in Las Vegas. You're gonna have a fantastic fucking time.
And you're one of the last shows.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to the last one or second to the last, but yeah, It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be good. I think egg flights are. I think they're a crime against humanity. By the way,
I've never heard of this. I've never seen an egg flight. I've never heard of an egg flight. I think this is. If you've seen it, it is algorithm specific because it has not come across my page at all.
Back to me, but I trust this person saying that egg flights are coming back because that means that they recognize when the egg flights were big. That's when I saw them.
Never saw it.
But if they're recirculating for you, I think they are fucking insane. Oh my God, you're right. This is from only a couple days ago.
No, all I see is deviled eggs.
Okay, so yeah. And by the way,
a deviled egg is not an egg flight.
Most of these people aren't even making deviled eggs and they look down upon deviled eggs. I will say, I think people who are eating egg flights, if those people look down on a tuna sandwich, there's this whole idea of oh, we're making eggs cool again. I'm like, this is the same thing as an egg salad sandwich or this is squishy beige food. You can't have this elitist idea of squishy beige food.
I love deviled eggs.
How many do you think you could realistically eat?
3.
Yeah.
And that's whole. And that's them cut up.
Mm-hmm.
I love deviled eggs, but I've never heard of any of this. Peanut butter and jelly on an egg? Do not bring that near me. That is disgusting. I do not want to see it. I don't want to smell it. I don't even want to see it on a menu.
That could take out a kid named Brayden or a kid named Everly, like, so fast. Those kids have all of those out. Like, that to me is a liability.
And peanut butter.
And peanut butter and a fruit.
No.
Get an EpiPen ready for those kids.
That is disgusting. Who is doing this? Who thought, how is this being prepared? Are they taking, because I can halfway understand if there's no yolk because an egg white doesn't really taste like anything, but that texture is nasty.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, the texture, regardless, you can't get rid of an egg's check. That's why people struggle when they have baked goods without eggs. Like, eggs, regardless of what way you fucking make them, eggs are going to egg. They're going to egg and they're going to do their egg thing. Hard-boiled eggs, there's quite literally nothing except maybe Jell-O, but that's way waterier. That, like, has that, like, you know it's an egg. You can't close your eyes and be like, what's that? It's an egg. You will know it's an egg.
I'm so disgusted right now, and I'm glad that I didn't have a full lunch.
No, it's...
Because I would be... Ugh.
And now that, like, I do think that it is a flexing a wealth thing here. So, like, I don't know if Big Egg is behind this, because I'm also curious who Big Egg is. It would have to be like a... What's that? One of those... I'm thinking of, like, the eggs that are sold in the styrofoam, like, 24 flats. Something like that, where it's like a, you know... pump and dump kind of a thing. Like, it's really one of those. We don't have a ton. That's not like overrun in California because we have so many farms here.
I will say I got a carton of very beautiful blue and brown eggs. And I was like, oh, these must be local. And then I looked on the carton. You know where it came from?
Mexico.
Rogers, Arkansas. I said, I guess hometown local.
Hey, that is local to you, just not currently where you are. That's your local hometown.
But they were trying to pull a switcheroo.
Styrofoam or cardboard packaging?
Cardboard.
Okay. Because to me, styrofoam really says something different.
Yeah.
It says something different. It says school cafeteria. It says only suitable for college campuses as well as jails, which is what all of the food printed at my college said. So now I do wonder, though, if it is one of those big conglomerates that's like not a small farm, like that they are trying to make money, and it's something that has, you know, they do everything. They make milk. They've got one of those big fucking farms. I could see...
They're all based in Northwest Arkansas.
I could see
I'm telling you that now.
Being the Big Egg if they are doing the proponent of it. But also the flight aspect of anything is like a rich people thing.
Yeah.
Like, that is a rich people thing. So, like, having the egg flights come back specifically during not only a economic recession, but like an egg recession, to me, yeah, it seems like a sign of like flexing wealth, but also being like weirdly anti-science.
Again, I've never heard of this, and I do like the finer things in life. I miss when kombucha flights were a thing. That was incredible. They're no longer a thing and make me sad. I went to a place where I regularly got kombucha flights and they were gone.
Everyone's getting a little too buzzed. Someone put goldfish on one.
See, that seems...
Relish, ketchup, and mayonnaise. I meant mustard.
See, this to me doesn't even feel like something that is highbrow. This feels very lowbrow.
This feels very... Also, I will say, depending on... That one felt really diet culture-y. This feels like the... which I without a doubt partook in, as I think a lot of women were like the like, oh my gosh, like, you know, swap this thing out with this thing, and if you use the same condiments, it'll like taste the same, like that shit.
Big cottage cheese.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's to me like some of these are giving that. Some of these that are like, oh, we've got prosciutto and I've got like a local raised like jam and honey thing here. Some of these are giving like that, and then other ones are it's diet culture. Like this is the new rice cake. But it's like I'm flexing that I have money, and which is really crazy that in general, like body, quote unquote, body trends, like they follow the economic times. And when you have, but like right now, if you don't have a lot of money and you don't have a lot of money for food, that automatically makes the style, quote unquote, being thinner. Mm-hmm. But then if you have a lot of money, you can buy drugs to take that will make you even thinner. So then you have to be thinner. Then the economic recession will make people be who are already having their jobs cut and their pays cut. So like, I don't think that you are wrong. I think I could tack on a diet culture sort of influence on this as well. And at this point, who knows, like all you have to do is hire one good bot And then we're in the era of copying where everybody just wants to conform. And then they just start, oh, I'm going to make a video because I saw someone else make an egg flight video. And now it's like, they did all the work for you. So this is not helping me with my eggs. Oh my God. Wait, no, there's a lot of them that are peanut butter and jelly, Melissa.
I don't want to see it. All right, moving on to the next one. So I finally got around to binging your podcast. I'm 28, she, her. 7 months ago, I dumped my on-again, off-again situation that had been going on for 2 years. I started hanging out with a new guy and things were going good. We've been seeing each other for 3 months. This is like the longest run since. The problem is he just got this new job, makes a lot of money. I'm happy for him, but the job is super demanding and now we're seeing each other a lot less. Before the new job, I could tell that we were headed towards something serious, but now I'm not so sure. I don't want to come off clingy because he's overwhelmed with his new job, but would it be wrong for me to ask him now if he wants to be exclusive? Are you trying to lock him down because you feel like you're losing him?
Yeah. What's the job?
They didn't say. So.
No, I'm just like, because I wonder.
Is the new job an excuse to make distance? Yeah, or is it just that they are actually super busy? Which does, when you get a new job and it's like a promotion from what your last job was, especially when you're settling in and learning a lot of new things, it is very busy in the beginning.
Yeah, because I agree with you. To me, this sounds like a scarcity thing, like of being like, and is it like, are you concerned that he's pulling away because like you think he's not interested in the job, really isn't that serious? Or are you feeling like he is picking his job over you? And like, because you said you had a on and off again situation that went on for 2 years. Mm-hmm. And so I could really see how someone pulling away, but like not actually pulling away, but like just being a little more busy, I could see how that would ignite that sense in you of like being like, gotta lock it down.
I gotta get him.
Because a lot of the times with like situationships that go on for a long time, people will look back on them and being like, if I had only put my foot down here, everything would have changed. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have.
It would have. You may have been like, you put your foot down and he was like, no. Yeah. And then you could have freed up more of your time.
Yeah.
And maybe you're thinking like, if I put my foot down now and he pulls away, then you know what? I don't have to waste the next 2 years of my life. And I think that is perfectly valid.
I'm on that. I'm without a doubt on that track. Because I would say that like, I think 3 months of dating someone, and you said like, I'm happy for him, job super demanding, so we're seeing each other a lot less. So like, I don't know how much you were seeing him before or how little. I think 3 months and like defining it as like, oh, are we exclusive or are we not or whatever, depending on your age, depending on how often. Yeah, but it just generally, depending on how old you are, depending on how often you are seeing each other, how much time you're spending together, I think that the more time you spend together, a lot of people are like, well, he has no time to date anyone else. I go, no. Even if it's a shorter length of time you've spent together, but consecutively, you've spent more time together over and over and over again. You've built up the hours, but like not so much in the weeks or the months. That to me is like, you have that conversation quicker.
Yeah.
Than if you only see someone once you see someone once a month for 3 months. Probably a little too soon.
Yeah.
And that's usually more of like a long distance kind of a thing. But I don't think 3 months is too soon at all. I think like being straightforward of asking someone if he wants to be exclusive, if you are interested in being exclusive with him, even if he hadn't started this new job and hadn't started to pull away, if it's not like an anxious attachment aspect of it, then I say without a doubt, go for it. If it is an anxious attachment aspect, or if you can't decipher how much of it is that anxious side of you and how much you actually really want it, I would go out on a date with someone else first.
Yeah.
Before you say, hey,
I think
let's be
you
exclusive.
should go out on a date with somebody else regardless.
Yes. But
because you were in a 2-year on a off again relationship. Why don't we try dating around a little bit?
Yeah. I guess because you've said you've been, so 7 months ago, 7 minus 3 is 4, right? So you spent 4 months single, including processing and getting over that last relationship, and then get into this one. How many other people? Yeah, that's a good point. How many other people did you date? And I think like, I'm someone who like, I push I have an avoidant attachment style, not anymore. thankfully, but like that was mine. Like I would push people away. I was not like a lock it down kind of a person. I would, if I immediately started like noticing that someone had feelings for me or I started having feelings for them, I'm ghosting. I'm leaving. I'm running away. I'm not responding. I'm deeply avoidant. So for me to know that like, hey, am I running away because I have feelings for this person or because I don't have feelings for this person? I would go like literally the second I started dating anybody new, I would like go on dates with like 6 other people just to be like, let me gauge. Mm-hmm. Is it this person or is this me actually having feelings? And so like, I in general think dating more people solves a lot of problems.
Yeah. So do you actually like them a lot? And if the answer is yes, then let's have that conversation. If it's more, I just like the attention.
Yeah.
And I'm missing that attention, then we can go get attention from somebody else.
And also, you can go get attention from somebody else and like realize like, oh no, I actually do like this person. Yeah, and like, back. I'm going to ask him if he wants to be exclusive. And like, you did nothing wrong because you were not exclusive. Or you can be like, oh, I actually don't like this person as much. I'm going to...
It was just the attention.
Break off things with this person and pursue things with some other guy or other person.
All right. We're going to take a break. When we get back, we'll get into But Are They Wrong?
We off?
30 seconds of carefree bliss.
Oof, like wind in your hair carefree.
Oh, like using Clorox Disinfecting All-Purpose Cleaner in the home carefree.
Yes.
Like dog slobbing on the coffee table and cleaning it with Clorox carefree.
He's on a roll now.
Spit toothpaste on the faucet.
You got it. You got it.
Peanut butter on the light switch.
Oh, spritz, spritz.
Spritz, spritz. Clorox, man. Clean feels good.
Okay, we're back.
Use as directed.
Impact confirmed. The Slayer has been activated.
Demonic threat level increasing.
Hold the line!
All the power of hell cowering before one man.
id Software presents Doom: The Dark Ages. Available May 15th on Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. Pre-order now.
Rated M for mature.
Morning decisions. A creamy mocha frappuccino drink? A sweet vanilla? Maybe a smooth caramel? Or that white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Start your day with bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drinks. Pick up a bottle near you wherever you buy your groceries.
We are back and it's time for But Are They Wrong? And this is where we nominate a person, place, or thing, something, current event, pop culture, who we think deserves some public attention, parentheses, the negative kind. This could be as obscure or as popular. And we also solicit if anyone's like, hey, talk about this thing. This is another one that you can submit, tag us in things they want us to talk about. And this one is something that I have been like following for, I would say, like a couple months. And it's one of those corners of the internet that do you ever like get into like a deep dive because you're like, I have to be missing something because the reaction to this is like so disproportionate to this. Like it feels so wild. There has to be something here and humanity can't have gotten to this place. Like this can't be what humans are doing. And it was, the way it was brought up was in a TikTok comment, and it was brought up in a very like normal, logical way of telling this person like, hey, you should check out this thing. And I was like, I click on it turned into a blue comment, clicked on it. It takes me to someone's TikTok profile. And I was like, oh, I've seen this person before. This doesn't make any sense to what this person's saying. They said, go on the Reddit. I look on the Reddit. It is the most vile, fucking insane thing I've ever seen. So for my nomination, I am nominating the members of Sid Towle's Snark, which is now a since banned subreddit, which for months, to the point of I think even like the past year, have made it their entire mission to quote unquote prove in their mind that this 25-year-old is lying about having cancer. And reading this subreddit a couple months ago was like quite literally like the most disgusting thing I'd ever seen. And it was a mind fuck because there were people posting in there who like you look on their accounts and they're posting in just everything, everyone they think is faking an illness. It's all these people who have all of these things. Their entire social media time is spent. And wasn't a huge community. It had like 1,000 or something members or whatever. But like like dozens of posts a day. Like these people were so active. It was so much of their life trying to prove that this girl did not have cancer. And she was an influencer before she was diagnosed with cancer. And she is like a young, pretty girl. She got diagnosed in 2023. She had like never had really any major health issues, but like she had like a sizable, decent platform. She's not like the biggest influencer in the world. And like, she's definitely grown a lot exponentially since 2023. But like she had a following to the point where people were probably already not huge fans of her, that her getting cancer, as opposed to them being like, oh, wow, I'm going to lay off talking shit about this woman. Instead was like, I hate her. So therefore she must not actually have cancer, because if she has cancer and I'm hating on her, that makes me a bad person. So instead she actually doesn't have cancer.
Okay.
And, I saw the comment that someone told someone to check out was this guy who he had cancer at a very young age. And he has like talked about the show Apple Cider Vinegar, which I tried to watch and I could not get through. It's just too much. And he talked about how when he had cancer, he ended up like on sides, like seeing things of people who are like faking about having cancer, and everyone he knew who had cancer also had people in their personal lives accuse them of faking cancer, that it became this epidemic of like, suddenly even people who aren't famous are being accused of faking cancer and like this whole thing. So he's like, I researched this stuff and like, there's not a lot of cases. Like he's working on like a book or something about it. Like the demographics of people who usually do this, it happens most often in English speaking countries, most often with white women. And like, there's like the socio-political economic aspects of this. So he comes at it from like an intellectual perspective. And someone had commented, you should check out Sid Towle. And he was like, he responded, because I remember I saw his response. He said, I'll check it out. And then I think afterwards he was like, she has can't, like, this is not a girl who's like on a GoFundMe begging for money. Like, this is not like, she has videos of her getting chemo. And like, the response to everything was, it's AI. It's AI. It's AI. It's not real. It's AI.
AI is ruining.
And so anytime like that I saw, like I blocked the subreddit because I was like, as soon as you look at it one time, it starts popping up. And I was like, this is so fucking detrimental. And like, I already have like a very hard time with people who participate in things like illness fakers, because like statistically, it is the same like as being like, oh no, this woman is lying about being sexually assaulted. Like, sure. There are the amount of people who are sick with these things, specifically women, versus the number of women who are lying about that, disproportionate. And to focus on that very, very small group as if that is going to help the very large group of people who are not being taken seriously by the medical field, they're not fucking correlated whatsoever. And I blocked it, wished this girl well, engaged with her content every time I saw it, but like didn't participate until last week, I think it was, or a week before, the New York Times came out with a profile. I have cancer, the TikToker said, then came the torrent of hate from about a week ago as the time of recording this. The research that was done on this was beautiful. The article deep dives everything. And there is somebody who, then I saw this on Reddit when I opened it all to like, when I went back to look at everything. She talks about how hard it was to be like, if I quit YouTube, because I think she was making YouTube videos too, but if I quit making videos and updating, it's going to look to the people who know that I have cancer or who like aren't privy to the side of people on this small side of the internet, which yes, it's filtering into her regular comments, but like it's not huge. It's going to make people who have no idea about that think that I died. And it's going to make people who think I'm faking cancer thinking that I am faking it and I'm running away. She's like, there is no like positive way to do this. And like, yes, the love totally outweighs the hate, but like the more, if she gets bad news, they're all like, she's lying about that. I'm like, while you're going through cancer, to like target somebody, to have all of this like attention and snark on her while she is like dealing with this is like so fucked. And someone who was following this, who was just a fan, who has remained anonymous, or not even a fan, someone who just like enjoyed her content and then saw people talking about her in this negative way, made their own like Snark page, infiltrated everything, did a huge, massive deep dive. And this person works in the medical space. And that's what they were like, I know this girl's not fucking lying. Did all this deep dive, found the names of like, I think about like half a dozen of these people. New York Times published them.
Incredible.
And some of these people, women in their 30s and 40s who work in the medical field, but of course, not in anything that requires any sort of medical degree or certain certification. No, something that where you have like the Kinsey scale. No, that's the sexuality one. The Dunning-Kruger effect or whatever. The little amount of information you have, feeling overly confident about it, being like, oh, I work in the medical field. And it's like, you work, you answer phones. You don't have access to you don't have a better knowledge than anybody else in this. They published it. And the New York Times reached out, asked those people for comments. And they were like, I would like to be left alone during this time. Like, I don't want to be targeted. I'm going through a hard time right now. Maybe similar to the 20-year-old who has cancer. And one of the other things I thought was like, just the evidence, quote unquote, was so fucked, was that she's from California, or she was living in California and moved to New York. Because it's like a very rare cancer that usually affects people much older than her. So she, she moved to New York by herself. And everybody's like, if she really had cancer, her mom would have moved with her. And like, they couldn't afford that. She had to move here by herself. She had to go through and they're like, if she really had cancer, she wouldn't be going through treatments by herself. What the fuck does that mean? Like, what does that mean? And the only time that she even ever listed a GoFundMe was she wanted to get her mom a trip for her birthday. And it like went so above and beyond, and she immediately shut it down and felt really bad. And everybody's like, no, Sid, we want to help. Like, you're living in New York by yourself going through cancer treatment. Like, we want to help you. Like, and like, she's not getting a lot of good news. Like, and like, but she hasn't lost her hair. So these people are like, well, she obviously, like, all of these kinds of things. Like, this is, it's just so fucked. So fucked. And I just think in general, like, snarking, quote unquote, on someone who you think is like lying about having like a health thing or whatever. When someone is lying about something, it is like incredibly obvious. And like, you don't do that if you are doing well mental health wise. And like, I hate to break it to most people, like, as someone who has been through her fair share of mental health things, that mental health stuff like is an invisible illness until it is not. And like, if you are at the level where you are faking having cancer, your mental health is not an invisible illness at this point. Like, this is something that is so clearly, like, I have seen people like, oh, this person is faking this thing they're going through. If you are faking, that is a mental health problem in itself. Like, that is a problem in itself. And I've even seen it with this other influencer who, like, I don't even want to give caveats of like, oh, this person isn't great or whatever, because it's nothing to do with it. But people like snarking on another influencer because they were like, well, she's done all these bad things in her past. I'm like, so why are you snarking on her losing her hair from chemo?
Right.
Like, those things are unrelated. And also, like, by the way, if you want someone to like do better and be a better person, like, coming at them with like just nasty, vile things right now, I promise you, they are not receptive to learning and growing from their past mistakes right now when they are like violently ill from cancer treatment. Mm-hmm. Like, if you want better for someone, you hope for them to get better, and you send a message about you just like stop following. Like, you hope for that later on, but thinking someone's going to do all of this like growth and whatever and like prove to you why you should care if they live or die when they are going through cancer treatment is like, to me, like a level of like a lack of empathy that like is like startling.
Agree.
So that's it. And yeah, fuck that subreddit.
All right. And then mine, and it had been requested, but I had already written it down to talk about Lisa from Blackpink having Rosa Parks on her crotch, but it has come out that it's not Rosa Parks. So we will move on.
Yeah. I will say, I think the fact that it was even close enough that it could have been Rosa Parks, maybe we shouldn't put anybody on the crotch.
Yeah, I agree. But mine, so imagine you're at a party for the Kentucky Derby and you're at a reputable hotel. You go use the bathroom. You walk into the women's bathroom, and this is supposed to be a place where you go to use the bathroom. You go in with your girlfriend. And so for Ainsley Baker, this turned into a whole ordeal. A security guard, a man security guard, walked into the women's bathroom, barges in, starts banging on the stall door, and then Ainsley comes out and it's like, what's up? And the guard's like, basically saying, you don't look like a woman. You're a man. So you need to leave the women's restroom. He accused her, someone who is a woman, was assigned female at birth, of not being a woman, even if she wasn't assigned female at birth. Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is a thing where they're like, we need to protect women, but you have a man going into a bathroom to berate women. So who is actually being protected here? She's humiliated and basically going through a nightmare. He then made her show ID, and the guard then misplaced even more authority and was like, you need to prove your gender.
Protecting women from who?
Right. And so Ainsley and her girlfriend Liz, as they were leaving, other women in the line, fueled by ignorance and prejudice, start yelling at them, saying, get him out of here. He's a creep. They were being very judgmental, homophobic, and just doing things that turned a simple act of going into the bathroom as humiliating. This wasn't just like a simple misunderstanding. The Liberty Hotel, in its initial response, offered a flimsy excuse about that there were 2 adults in one stall. And I will say, as women, we do this often. We do go 2 in a stall, regardless of sexuality. Especially if there's a line.
The way that like I have gone into a stall with strangers because there is a line.
Yes.
Like this is like that is not uncommon.
No.
Whatsoever. And like you don't get mad when other people. No, that's a no.
And men all use the bathroom together anyway.
And if you have an issue or historically have an issue with like how your bathroom line is run, you have a bathroom attendant.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't have a bathroom attendant and you have like preferences about how the I don't believe you.
Yeah. And so they're basically, at first, they were victim blaming, saying because there were 2 in the stall. And both Liz and Ainsley said they were not in the same stall.
There's
and
no proof they were.
Even if they were, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
They're just friends. They're roommates.
So then there was public outcry, of course, and saying that there was a clear injustice here. The security guard was suspended, not fired, suspended. And the hotel is promising retraining and a donation to an LGBTQ plus organization.
I don't really buy it, though.
Me either. And why wasn't he fired? Because he was doing exactly what they wanted him to do. That's why he wasn't fired.
Mm-hmm. And if you're like, oh, he's old, he can't be retrained. I'm sorry, is he your grandfather or is he an employee? It ruins your reputation.
A suspended guard doesn't erase the humiliation that Ainsley endured. And a donation doesn't undo the fear of violation that she felt. And this incident isn't just about one overzealous guard. It reflects a broader social issue, a climate where people feel entitled to question and harass others based on their gender expression. So the Liberty Hotel gets my vote for this week.
Yeah, it's wild. And I like, there's like a pecking order of who this comes for. And I think there's like a lot of like straight cis women who like the idea of like trans rights is something that's like, oh, you know, like I don't, but like they have no fear in that. And like, hey, your empathy, you should lead with empathy. And like, regardless if it's ever going to come to you, you should care. You should care just as much about people being targeted, regardless if that will end up being the group of people you are in. But objectively, it will be the group of people that you are in, because it is not about genitalia. It is about what you are presented like in women. And like, as someone who is like a tall kid, like the amount of times like as a preteen, because we were taller than like me and I had like one other friend who was taller than the boys. They'd be like, oh, you guys are actually boys. And it's like, no, but like if you're a woman and you are tall, yeah. If you are a woman who,
and she is,
and if you are a woman and you are dressed not in like a fucking sundress. If you're a woman who has, who looks like you could be scouted by Wilhelmina models, you've got a strong jawline, you have an androgynous look to you, you have short hair, you have anything that is not perceived to be
feminine.
most feminine, but even at the same time, fake boobs.
Mm-hmm.
Fake boobs can be, perfect feminine, or trying too hard to be feminine. Like, it is making such a rigid, narrow idea of what womanhood is because it's about what womanhood they see, what womanhood they deem
perceived
as valid.
Yeah.
And there is nobody safe in that aspect of this. And I just, every day I think about the fucking TERFs and shit that I'm like, by the way, this is what you wanted.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you wanted, and it will come for you too.
And Ansley said that she came forward because this isn't the first time that this has happened. And unfortunately, she doesn't think it'll be the last. And so she wanted to speak out because she is tall. She does have an androgynous look. She has more of like a square jaw. And like, again, who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares? I truly, at home, we don't separate bathrooms.
Here's the thing. As long as you don't pee on the seat, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I care about. And by the way, you can pee on the seat. Just clean it up before I get in there.
I'm perfectly fine sharing a bathroom with whoever.
I am fine sharing it with literally anyone else. I have IBS. I am not one to judge. Like,
and how many times have us the women's line is so long that we go into the men's bathroom.
Oh my God. Every fucking concert, every sports game, like so many fucking times. Like, this is just, it's really scary and it's like really fucked up. And I saw someone online who I don't remember exactly who it was who had said this, but they do long distance marathon running, and they were accused, as they were sticking up for trans athletes, they were accused of being trans.
Yes, I remember them.
And she was like, they were like, tell us if you are. And she was like, no. Like, this idea that like to prove I am not one of it fucks us over for all of us. So like, and she was like, I encourage everybody, if you are accused of being trans, A, there's no way you can prove it that will satisfy them. And B, if you make the effort to prove it, we are normalizing that behavior of that. So
just don't do it.
There's nothing wrong with being I'm not insulted by it. I don't feel a need to defend against it. It doesn't matter if I am or I'm not. It is not any of your business. And like, that mentality is something that we need to keep, because it is it's getting really fucking scary.
Yeah.
It's been really fucking scary, but especially and not just here, like in the UK, like
all around the world.
Yeah. So
all right, that's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to vote on Tuesday when we do the polls. You can write in, tell us your thoughts and feelings. Don't be scared. We love reading your thoughts and feelings. Tune in tomorrow for an episode of See You Next Tuesday, where we'll be reading the results from last week. Wednesday, use that time to, catch up or listen to a random episode. Just put shuffle on. Thursday, we'll be here for Don't Blame Me. And Thursday, I just said Thursday, and Friday, we've got a brand new episode of Fisting Friday. We'll be talking about something interesting.
Yeah. We hope y'all enjoyed. Leave reviews, join the Patreon, watch a video version of the podcast, come to one of our live streams. We'd love to hear from you. Follow us on socials, and we will circle back.
Goodbye.
Bye. This is a Sister Sign production hosted by me, Megan Rinks.
And me, Melisa D. Montz, plus Diamond Imprint Productions.
Post-production by Coco Lorenz.
Production assistance by Melanie D. Watson.
And music by Ryan Hunter and Giacomo Picasso.
I'm Amy Nicholson, the film critic for the LA Times.
And I'm Paul Scheer, an actor, writer, and director. You might know me from The League, Veep, or my non-eligible for Academy Award role in Twisters.
We love movies, and we come at them from different perspectives.
Yeah, like Amy thinks that, Joe Pesci was miscast in Goodfellas, and I don't.
He's too old. Let's not forget that Paul thinks that Dune 2 is overrated.
It is.
Anyway, despite this, we come together to host Unspooled, a podcast where we talk about good movies, critical hits,
fan favorites, must-sees, and in case you missed them.
We're talking Parasite to Home Alone.
From Grease to The Dark Knight.
We've done deep dives on popcorn flicks. We've talked about why Independence Day deserves a second look.
And we've talked about horror movies, some that you've never even heard of, like Ganja and Hess.
So if you love movies like we do, come along on our cinematic adventure.
Listen to Unspooled wherever you get your podcasts.
And don't forget to hit the follow button.
Can you actually change your personality if you want to? How does peer pressure work, and why is it so powerful? Should you ever really trust your gut when you make a big decision? These are just a few of the topics we've recently covered on my podcast, Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and each episode of Something You Should Know covers multiple topics that are likely relevant to you. You'll discover things you can use in your life today, right now, like how to have a great conversation, how to be more courageous, the anatomy of the perfect apology, and much, much more. To date, there are over 1,000 episodes of Something You Should Know, and we've gotten over 4,000 mostly 5-star reviews. I invite you to check out Something You Should Know. Look for the bright yellow light bulb on the blue background. Something You Should Know, wherever you listen to podcasts.
From the podcast that brought you to each of the last lesbian bars in the country and back in time through the sapphic history that shaped them, comes a brand new season of cruising beyond the bars. This is your host, Sarah Gabrielli, and I've spent the past year interviewing history-making lesbians and queer folks about all kinds of queer spaces, from bookstores to farms to line dancing and much more.
For 11 years, every night women slept illegally on the common.
We would move down to the West Indies to form a lesbian nation.
Meg Kristen coined the phrase women's music, but she would have liked to say it was lesbian music.
And that's kind of the origins of the Comedy River Collective.
You can listen to Cruising on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes air every other Tuesday starting February 4th.